Hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. I hope you've been enjoying the last couple of days. I know you've been wondering what we've been up to, but don't worry, we've been hard at work, working on the next couple of episodes. So at this point of recording, we've already recorded the episode ahead. That's why this might sound a bit different. But we want to do a bit of an overview before we do our last episode of like the podcast in general. You know, how we as a hosting crew have felt, you know, how we, you know, things we've learned, you know, what our opinions on like what we've done so far, and like just a bit of an overview, basically. So as always, I will introduce my amazing co-hosts. So Sam and Anushka, you're more than welcome to say hello.
Thank you so much. That was such a nice little introduction, and well done. If anyone has made it through every single podcast, you are our greatest fan, because
honestly,
that's amazing. So if you're here, thank you so much for joining us on this journey. It's been a journey for us, and that's why we're going to talk today, as Jeffrey was saying. Welcome to the final episode.
Hi, guys. What he said. It's like Jeffrey said, we've been hard at work. We haven't just been slacking. But now we're back again, like he said.
Yeah, we're back at work, and I think best song that sums up us coming back to the podcasting world is Backstreet's Back by Backstreet. If anyone who's not listened to it, I recommend. Very catchy. But yeah, so I guess we're gonna get into it today. So I guess first thing I want to ask you guys is, I know it's definitely been a journey, because I know from our first episode, I know we've all discussed it like a few weeks ago, that we were saying like we've all, I don't know, seen a change in like ourselves. And I know in the next episode that everyone's going to listen to, we talk about like even like how we speak on like online. Like obviously, you know, everyone's kind of used to it now, but obviously when we started recording online was still a bit of a new thing. It wasn't really used so much as it is now. And yeah, you know, we've all said that we've like worked on like our voices and how we sound, and you know, it's helped us professionally. So I guess I just want to ask you guys, how do you feel about what you've done so far? You know, like I said, every episode, you know, you guys have always brought your best. The discussions have been, you know, really engaging, and I know even we said it ourselves, and we said it as a group. The conversations have you know, they've been really, really interesting and really engaging. So yeah, I guess I want to ask you guys, how do you feel about the podcast?
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. And I'm not going to lie to you, I probably haven't been refining my voice, but I probably should be. I feel it's got worse as I've gone through the podcast, if anything, but that's probably just me.
No, it's not just you.
Okay. It's also an Anushka, apparently. No, it's been good. It's been good, and yeah, obviously, just learned a lot from the discussions we've had as well. Like most of all, let alone the voices and everything. But you know, for anyone that doesn't know, season 2 might have our faces in it. So I think that's probably been a bit of a changer. As Jeffrey's been saying, we've actually been recording ahead. So, you know, Jeffrey's got his brand new mic, so he'll sound a little bit worse when he first comes back, and then he'll go into his full glory that you can hear him in now. But yeah, I mean, apart from that, like, yeah, us getting new equipment, becoming a bit more professional, it's been an interesting development.
Yeah, thanks for that, Sam. Anushka, what about you?
Oh, well, I feel like at the start I wasn't very... How do I put this? I think I've developed in terms of how I, like I don't know how to say it. I can talk now, but apparently I can't. When I couldn't before. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you mean.
I've spoken to you about this.
Yeah, you've like, you've become like more confident in yourself.
Yeah,
yeah. It was like, no. But no, you have. No, honestly, you have. Like even all of us, I think we've all seen since I think. If we were all to listen to like that first episode, and
we were all very awkward in that first episode.
Do you mean the one that I did?
I think that's why.
If you listened to the person who spoke in 80% of the episode, you know, it was awful, and we started off so bad. But since then, it's been uphill. And
oh my god!
When his percentage changed to 20%, that was. No, I'm kidding. I know you don't.
No. I think
like
no, Anushka's like, yeah, you're right. No, I think
watch out.
I think you're right, Sam and Anushka. Like we've all like developed like over the course of the episodes. I think it's like with anything, like you've just got to find your footing and just be like, you know, this is, I don't know, the way it works. I think especially like, you know, at the start, I think we were in that like balance of like, I guess, professional and fun. And then now we're just like professionalism out the window. Keep it fun. Yeah. What is professionalism? But no, but yeah, no, I think we've come to, it's, you know, people talk about like finding a niche, and I think we talked about it literally in that first episode as well. But yeah, just like we found like our you know, our niche and like what makes our podcast unique. And I think that's the most important thing. So thank you very much for that.
I think one more thing about the podcast in general, I think Sam also touched on it. You just get to learn a lot about everything. Like you discuss topics that you wouldn't normally have discussed with anyone before. So I mean, for me, that was a positive, just kind of talking about loads of different topics.
Yeah, no, that's that's so true. I feel like that's what that's the key thing about the podcast. It's doing these, like having these conversations, and you know, I wouldn't say we're experts now from all these different discussions that we've had, but we're definitely you know, we're learning. We're like gurus, or like, you know, we're becoming experts in these areas. And I think even for me, it's been really good to know, I guess, more about like people's opinions on the stuff. Because obviously, you know, I think Sam was even saying it. I know Sam was saying it with the podcast. I think it was the sustainability one, or the Sam was saying before that like speaking to different people enables you to like better, you gain a wider understanding, and you develop like a more holistic approach on stuff. But I think that's where like having these discussions is really good, because obviously, you know,
they're not like scripted at all. So we just talk about whatever. Like,
honestly,
people might think, wow, this conversation is so good, it must be scripted. But actually, like, I'm sure no one actually thinks that. I was only joking. But we just go all over the place. And I think that's why we enjoy it and we learn from it so much, because we just like, we've got a question, we're going to ask it. We've got like a thing to say that happened probably the day before, as it happens, like probably like bumped into a bit of knowledge that just happens to be useful for the podcast, literally just like right before. I don't know if that's happened to anyone else.
No, yeah, definitely.
You know, I'll just find out, like, I'll just be like, oh, I can use this. And I was just like, this is the day before, like, wow. And it just like popped out of nowhere. So yeah, no, it's all just very natural, organic, and holistic, like Jeffrey was saying, which is what's good for everything, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
Actually, a lot of our conversation happens off the record, to be fair.
Yeah,
like a lot of the deep stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you might not seem it, guys, but we do go deep. We do go deep in these conversations when we're not recording. And yeah, I think it is good. And I think it is, you know, one of those key things that that we do as a group. Just think about, and just, you know, we understand. So yeah, it's definitely key to just have these conversations and, you know, develop an understanding. And that's why we love having guests on. We love it even when, as a team, like we all lead episodes individually, because it just makes it more fun. It makes it more interesting. It makes it more engaging. It makes it more like realistic. And I think, like Sam said, you know, we don't script anything. You know, we don't, you know, I don't know, force anything. All the conversations that happen are just things that happen as we, you know, go in the conversation, as we go through the podcast and through the episode. And it's just like we said, it's just the speakers that we have on the show, and, you know, my excellent co-hosts that just enable us to have these amazing conversations. So yeah, I guess that's the first thing.
And we love interesting people. That's what fuels it. Like, we're really boring people. That's why we need to do that. We're okay, hopefully. But yeah, no, like, if anyone that's listening is part of a different industry or part of any sort of, you know, thing that you think would be useful, feel free to write to us, email to us. Maybe don't write to us because we don't actually have an address posted. But definitely email to us. And yeah, like we'd love to have more people on. Like Jeffrey was saying, we learned so much. So yeah, I just thought I'd pop that in there. But it's true, you know, like the whole development of it. I mean, Jeffrey, do you have your favorite episode where you've learned the most from it?
Ooh, that's a deep question. Ooh, this is gonna be tough. I think one of the ones that I really liked was the importance of sustainability. Now, I know that some people are probably thinking, oh, you know, Jeffrey said he's an environmental scientist. Why is he saying that that's his most important episode? I think it was mainly because of the MC section. So when we asked Yatunde, like, what's your opinion about the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals? And like, she was saying that they're great, but in reality, they're 9 years away. How likely are we to meet them? And I think that's one of the things where it did make me think. Like, I agree that a lot of action needs to be done for the 9 years, but it did make me think of, like, I guess, you know, people think that 9 years is like so far away, but literally, I'm sure we've all attested to it that the last year just feels like it went so quickly. And I feel like that was one of the key things that I did sort of come out, you know, thinking, wow, this is like something I'd never thought about before. But I'd say holistically, if there was an episode where I came out saying that I've learned a lot, I think, you know, as people might be like, oh, I'm being a bit of favoritism here. I think it definitely has to be our first episode, if I'm honest. The reason being is because I feel like it's just I think it was the whole point of the podcast. Like, literally, you know, like, we're all doing this, we're all passionate about these conversations and doing stuff, and we were all talking about it and just saying, like, you know, we've all got our own individual passions and we all follow it, and sometimes, you know, we want to, you know, go further with the stuff that we're doing. Sometimes we want to just, you know, we're happy with what we're doing and just following that. And obviously, like we said, in a difficult world, it is difficult, especially if your passion has been stopped because of COVID. I think that's why that was my favorite episode, because it was a really nice way to say, you know, set the mentality. We were talking, it introduced who we were as guests, not guests, as we were as hosts. It introduced like the whole point of the podcast. And it sort of like set the premise of, like, I guess, who we are as a group of individuals and who we, I guess, you know, want to be and who we want to, you know, impact with the podcast. So yeah, I'd say obviously I love all our episodes, but I think the one that I felt like I came out learning the most was definitely that first one. And I think the key psychology terms that you use, Sam, as well, were really good. But yeah, I'd say that's mine. But I guess I'll flip the question back to you, Sam. What episode do you feel like you came out learning the most?
No, I quite like the first one as well. I thought it was interesting. I'd probably say Maria's one seemed to strike a chord. I really liked it, and I'm not being biased because she's my friend. But I just felt her personal experiences growing up, you know, in school, to do with like race and her mental health and her, like, you know, journey through here to now could, like, I felt like it could do a lot of benefit to a lot of people. And I felt that I learned quite a lot and sort of felt that I could reflect on it as well. So, you know, I'd probably say hers, like, she brought up some really good cases. She's bringing like these ideas about, you know, identity, which I think is so important, especially like for people going to university, people going to, like, through jobs. And I think everything that BAME is, it centers around identity as well. And that has a big part of everything we do. And the way that identity affects us is part of the reason why this podcast was made. And I felt that it really did grasp onto like a very like real experience. She said it very personally, because it's, you know, it's good to look at, you know, general experiences of general people. You know, for example, like BAME representation in STEM, BAME representation in uni. That's a big thing. But I think someone's personal story, for me, I deal quite well with personal stories. I felt that was quite strong. And I think, you know, like, yeah, I mean, everywhere, like the other two I mentioned, they were great episodes as well. And I think, you know, any awareness, any information that we can give to help people out there navigate through these experiences is really useful, because that's what we do, and it's super useful. But yeah, I'd probably say that one. I felt it was quite a personal and well-meaning one. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, they've all been great episodes. We've all had a lot of fun doing them, and like everyone's saying, like the most fun is outside the episode. Funnily enough, as soon as we pause and then we go and like have a break and chat with each other, we chat for like hours. Like this thing takes ages. Like it's not even the episode that takes long. It's just us talking. So yeah, no, it's just been a big good experience here. But yeah, I guess now it just falls on to Ninushka to let us know what episode she liked the best. And yeah, what would you say, Ninushka?
I mean, since we all apparently like the first one, I like the first one too. But no, in all seriousness, I think the episodes that I enjoyed and I guess I learned the most from were all the kind of episodes that touched upon any form of BAME representation in anything. It can be in higher education institutions, which we did one with Leila, or the one with Riham about representation in STEM, or we also did one with Selma in general of BAME representation. And then I guess it also then, how Sam was saying, ties into Maria's episode with the relation between mental health and race, because BAME's a complicated thing. Like, I think we can all agree with that. But I mean, for those particular episodes, I guess I learned the most, but I also kind of understood where the guest speaker, whatever they were saying, I related to that, I guess, because, you know, being part of the BIM community. But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed all the episodes, to be honest. I enjoyed hosting one episode, actually, which I wasn't confident in doing at all at the start. But I think it was, which one was it? The revision tips one. I enjoyed doing that. It just brought me out my shell as well. But yeah, I mean, I just enjoy all of it, to be fair.
That's a perfect answer. And yeah, I think Sam, did you want to say something, Sam?
No, I was just saying it's really nice.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess one thing I want to ask before we wrap up is basically, I guess, what's been your, I'm trying to word it in the right way, whether it's not necessarily like your favorite part of the episodes, but I guess, I know, like we said, we started recording season 2 as well, so I guess looking forward to the future, we've sort of already done that. But I guess what's the thing you're looking forward most to in the second season? Like, if any of our listeners were to ask you guys, like, what's that one thing that's going to be in season 2 that isn't in season 1 or is expanded upon in season 2? What's that one thing that you guys would tell them?
Good question. It's everything we've done and more. I guess also the more that we're on it, the more we learn. So what you're learning is what we've learned, and we're learning stuff. So trust us on that. But also, like, yeah, I think we're going to incorporate a bit more to do with women's representation, and I'm interested to have people in and go over those questions directly, because it's obviously been part of the topic we've been discussing, but more of a side note to why the speaker's there. So having that, I think, will be an interesting aspect of the second season. But yeah, also you get to see our faces, which is probably it's worth running from. So, what about you, Ninushka? What are you thinking?
You're right. It's a very good question. For me, I guess what I'm looking forward to the most in the second season is, I'm trying to see what, I think it's just learning more. Like, it is basically what Sam was saying, just talking to people, finding out, thinking, stop. Okay. What? Okay, let me start this again. God damn. Okay. So I guess what I'm looking forward to the most in the second season is, like Sam said, we're looking more at kind of women representation, and just to talk to a whole bunch of new people who we haven't yet spoken to, find out their opinion, what they think, what they've experienced. I like listening to people's experiences. It's like, yeah, I mean, sometimes they might not be good experiences, but it's good to hear what's happening out in the world, I guess. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's nice to know, I guess, I think, well, I say Michelle because we recorded an episode yesterday, but I think one of the things that we discussed in season 2 was the idea of like the world's bigger than like, I guess, your bubble. And it's nice to always be reminded of like, just because, you know, there is stuff like I know sometimes life we get caught up and we focus on like what we see around us, but it's always nice to learn these things from other people and other individuals, which is definitely key. I think for me, I would have to say it's definitely, I know we'll talk about it in our first episode of the second season, but I like that we've added the guests get to ask us questions. So they get to put us in, you know, the hot seat and ask us questions about different topics and different things. And it's interesting. It's nice. I like it. I think it's their way, I guess, to see like what we know about the topic. Because obviously, you know, when we do these like episodes, we ask the speakers like all these questions, and we say, this is, you know, this is how we feel about this, or what do you feel about this topic or that topic? But it's nice to be asked, you know, what do you feel about this topic as well? And some of these questions, like I said, are really thought-provoking. And it is quite nice to be asked that, so we can say like what our opinions on that. So yeah, I'd say the speakers asking us questions is probably my main thing. And you'll see like some of these questions are tough. They are tough. So they did take us a bit of time to think about. But yeah, basically we've come to the end of our bit of a brief overview. As always, it's been a pleasure to have you guys listening to the show. And yeah, essentially, like we said, keep an eye out for our last episode. We will be uploading this. This, like we said at the start, is our episode before the last episode. So we recorded the last episode before this, but you still won't be missing anything out. And then keep an eye out, because we'll then start to upload our second season. It's our penultimate episode. So make sure that you do keep an eye out for that. And especially the second season, like Sam said, we now, and I can officially say it here, you've heard it here first, we do have a YouTube channel. So if you do follow our website, if you do go to our website, just go on there and you can find more information about how to find more information on like all the different stuff that we do, and see the YouTube channel. So yeah, just check it out. We've got some content there, and then once we started season 2, when we upload the normal episodes on like Spotify or wherever you listen to this show on, we'll also be uploading it to YouTube. So like Sam said, you can get to see our faces as well. And yeah, just a like and subscribe on YouTube is never hated. And it's the quickest way to know that you guys are liking the content that we're bringing out, and you want to see more. Especially with YouTube, we're hoping to expand a bit more on YouTube and upload. It won't necessarily be like full-blown episodes, but it'll be a bit shorter stuff. So yeah, don't worry about that. And yeah, there's no, I guess if there was to be an MC for this episode, it would be the great team that helps out with the show.
Big round of applause to us.
Yeah, big round. It sounds a bit selfish, but honestly, these guys have done an amazing job, and they bring their great presence and their great fun to every single episode. So yeah, I'd say that if there's an MC, it's the individuals that I do the podcast with. So yeah, thank you very much, everyone.
Same here.
Thank you, Sam.
Yeah, the individuals that I work with in this very virtual room right now, the best MCs.
Thank you very much
for
this episode.
Thanks guys. And yeah, thanks everyone for listening. Keep an eye out for our next episode, and we will speak to you all shortly. So have a nice day, and yeah, keep an eye out all night, and keep an eye out for the last official episode of season 1.